How's it going? It's your boy Ghost. What you just saw right now was the tutorial level for my submission for the first ever community game jam that was hosted by some of the awesome people here on YouTube. And I really suggest you give the game a go just because I will be mentioning some spoilers, and there will be a link in the description to check it out. Let me know what you think about it. The theme was complicated this time around. It was the game is a liar. But that's the thing, it was so tricky that the only way to tackle it was to make the game just as complicated as the theme. As soon as the theme was announced, I began writing down whatever idea crossed my mind, and I just narrowed it down to a couple ideas that I had. And because I hate myself, I combined the two most ambitious ideas into one. But that's okay. The idea evolved into the following. You're an agent that was sent to investigate the base of these AI robots because I just thought it was something easy to make. The mission is to find classified information about any plans these evil bots have against humans. Or is it? That's where the theme comes in play. Throughout the game, you begin to discover that maybe that's not what you're really doing. And everything gets revealed towards the end, and you're in some kind of simulation of sorts. Hopefully you played the game and you thought it was cool. I don't know. I mean, doesn't that sound cool? You're in some Matrix baloney and are slowly figuring out how to get out of it. The idea alone just kept me motivated because it was just such an interesting thing to me and to start working on. The jam started on Saturday, and what I did from Saturday through Monday was worked on the character controller for both the player and the enemy robots, as well as some animations. And because I realized that the scope of this project was probably a little bit too big, so I cut as many corners as I could, and I quickly realized that creating each individual frame for each animation, because I was doing some pixel art, was going to be time consuming. And so I made each individual limb a moving part and separated each entity that would later be animated inside of Unity. I also was working on the dialogue system, which in the end I was pretty proud of it, not going to lie, and I'll probably reuse it for other games. It's a bit buggy here and there, but with some stress-free debugging, I'm sure I can make it work better. One thing though is that Saturday night, boy, I could not sleep at all. I just had some doubt that maybe I was overscoping this way too much, because it's just a game jam, man, and you're not supposed to make something with like a story and all that fancy jazz and switch over from 2D to 3D. But yeah, I guess it all worked out. And so with that time of not being able to sleep, I just had to plan out what was I going to do throughout the week and what it should look like if I wanted to finish on time. So having that done, I gained a little bit more confidence, was able to go to sleep. And the next day I just kept working on the 2D part of the game. Tuesday came along, and that was the last day that I had to work on some 2D stuff, so I just had to pump out some levels because I didn't have anything besides the tutorial level at that time. So I just took the whole day to finish these 3 levels and try to get them to work right with the cover mechanics and all the other stuff that I had going on. And I stopped at just 3 levels because that's all the time that I had for. I didn't want to waste any more time. I wanted to have 3 somewhat solid levels that worked. And then Wednesday through Thursday is when it was getting spicy because I started creating 3D models. Yep, that's right, 3D models. So this was just such an ambitious idea that I wanted to mix 2D and 3D and really have a aha moment for the player. So I just worked on some 3D models. Everything was going along smoothly. Even after just getting the hang of the switch from Blender 2.79 to 2.8, which is pretty cool. So far I'm liking it. Yeah, so I took those 2 days to work on 3D models and some logic for the game and getting all that set up with animations and stuff like that. And then Friday morning is when I was wrapping up all the 3D gameplay stuff and noticed that I was beginning to get a little desperate. I was writing some really wacky code. I mean, I had been since the beginning, but this time I took it to 10. Even more when I was adding the audio. I'd write like the same 3 lines of code throughout a couple different scripts, and this is very bad practice, but I was convinced that I was saving time, but in reality I should have just made an extension method or some kind of utility script. I now realize I was very wrong. I should have taken more time to handle things properly. The rest of that Friday and into Saturday, I was just kind of on low energy. I had to wrap up some sounds that day and just tweak some stuff. And I didn't do a whole lot of sounds, but the process was pretty fun. I just, held my mic up to some stuff and like make some noises. I did some tapping on a piece of paper to make like the walking, and I just edited in FL Studio and then in Audacity also. I was gonna add music, but to be honest, I was just super low on energy and I couldn't be bothered at that point. I wrapped up some sounds, I tweaked some stuff, made sure the game was playable more than anything, and then I uploaded the game 2 hours before the jam was over. I did not want to know anything about the game soon after, so I just hung out with some friends for the rest of the day. Now looking back, I'm actually really proud of the final product, not gonna lie. Jams always just find a way to show me how much I can get done compared to what I think I can get done. And I'd really recommend anyone who's into game development or wants to get into game development is to participate in a jam, whether it be like a small jam or like a week-long jam like this one. Which is why I just can't thank the hosts enough for making this possible. Now, what I'd do differently next time is I'd probably join a team, to be honest, because it could get a bit lonely, not gonna lie. And just the fact that dividing up tasks would allow for more content in the game and polish, which is good because you want as many hands on deck to help get this project done and as complete as possible in the short period amount of time you have. This time around, I was a one-man band, there was only so much I could accomplish by myself. Even some stuff I wasn't confident in, like pixel art, to be honest. I've only messed around with it a bit, but I mean, it was fun. It was a good learning experience. Even though I didn't do much of it, I guess I learned the program a bit better, which was Aseprite. So at the time of this recording, there's about 8 days left to vote on submissions, and I'd really appreciate if you could check out my game. And if you also happen to participate, please let me know in the comments. I would love to check out your submissions and give you some feedback and whatnot. Thanks for watching this video. That's all for now, and I'll talk to you on the next one.